What are some horrifying things to consider when thinking about aliens? One theory, from Stephen Hawking, is that if they are sufficiently advanced that aliens may treat us like ants. When we build dams, we don't worry about whether or not a dam will cause an anthill to be flooded out. Similarly, a species that is advanced as far beyond us as we are beyond ants might seek to alter our planet or even our solar system to their advantage without giving consideration to what may happen to us. That they could have been here the entire time, playing Farmville with us. Aliens could do to us what we did to wolves, selectively breeding a once noble species in grotesque ways, transforming us into the equivalent of bulldogs, poodles, dachshunds, etc. The possibility of them already knowing about us but us not knowing about them. We have no idea if they know. They could be committing space espionage right now and we wouldn't know about it. For all we know, aliens might not be the little green men that fly around in flying saucers and destroy us with laser beams. They could be an interstellar pathogen that show up one day and silently and effortlessly kills us all without warning. Our immune systems would have no idea what hit them. Our human concepts of morality and empathy are heavily influenced by our mammalian biology. Imagine that aliens land, and instead of having nice little family units, their species lays clutches of thousands of eggs at a time. They don't form strong bonds. Life is essentially expendable for them. They see us weeping over a dead child and they have literally no frame of reference for understanding why this would be upsetting. I'm not saying all aliens will be like this, but some definitely could be. The assumption that they come in groups in some flying saucer. For all we know, they might just appear in hordes of thousands if not millions all across the planet. Also, we like to think that aliens will share the same way of thinking as humans, i.e., reasoning, emotions, etc. But the only reason we think that is because that's the only thing we are familiar with. Aliens might have completely different emotions or thought processes than us, but we won't know because we never encountered them before. It's like the fourth dimension. At this point it's pretty well established what it is, but most of us, if not all, have no clue how to visualize or properly explain it. Extremely unlikely, I know. But if aliens ever come to Earth, it likely means they are a spacefaring and interstellar capable species with tech at least centuries, if not millennia, ahead of ours. In other words, if aliens are even remotely capable of traveling to our planet, we're pretty much outgunned hilariously. I would much rather be massively outgunned than to be just a bit outgunned. If even our most powerful nukes are nothing compared to their technology, then we're not a threat. If we pose a potential danger to them, there's an incentive to eliminate us. The scariest thing to me is thinking that aliens want nothing to do with us. I don't get why everyone thinks that aliens would attack us immediately. It's one thing if we come into their territory, but if they stumble upon us, we're most likely safe. Them finding us would mean they are incredibly advanced. Anything they could get by attacking Earth, they could get far easier by harvesting it from a different planet in our solar system. Unless they feed specifically on brainwaves, it isn't worth the hassle to attack a planet teeming with life. They may have some weapons, however primitive, that might be used against you. It's far more frightening to believe that aliens will one day discover us and won't be interested. They won't want us on their intergalactic councils. They won't want to give us medicine. They won't want to form any bond. If they decide to just leave humanity alone, that means either they have decided we are not worth saving, or that we are too close to destruction to be worth the resources. My main thing is that they'll bring a virus or something that'll just wipe us out cause we've never seen anything like it. Or we'll be immune cause it's too alien. Who knows? But until there is actual proof that there are advanced aliens out there, I'll stick to the idea that they are bacterial cells on Titan or something. Maybe all these supposed alien abductions and UFOs over the past 100 years have been alien scientists building vaccinations against our known diseases for themselves and adapting their own medical immunities for humans too, monitoring our progress against our own diseases so when both civilizations are on top of it we can be welcomed into the galactic fold safely. That one day they will just wipe out our planet without us ever knowing why, and that it will be so fast we don't even realize it. Since life on this planet is one big cycle of eating other living things, plants and animals, to survive, they might be so horrified that they press the big nope button and end it all. 2. B. Pacific. Middle. 3 years ago. Right. Imagine aliens that evolved on a planet where all life photosynthesizes. They see us and they're like, oh cool. A whole planet full of monsters. There are lots of explanations for why we haven't heard from an intelligent species. It may be that they are observing us with devices we can't detect, and they don't think we're ready to meet them, and they're right about that. They may just be hanging out with other, similarly advanced species, and we're not interesting enough for them to bother with. They may communicate in a way that we haven't discovered yet, and they're bombarding our planet with messages that we don't know how to detect. One scientist proposed that the oldest star systems in our galaxy may have been bombarded with gamma rays in the early years of our galaxy's existence. So intelligent life on those planets didn't get the head start that we thought they would have had. And the first intelligent life is evolving in the later formed solar systems like ours, in which case the other intelligent species in the galaxy are just as dumb as we are, or at least not sufficiently advanced to travel among the stars. Maybe they have visited us. Maybe out of the bajillion UFO sightings that were ordinary terrestrial phenomenon, hoaxes, or the hallucinations of people on drugs, one or two of those sightings were of an actual alien spaceship, and they were written off as hoaxes, etc. Maybe intelligent life did evolve in the earliest formed solar systems in our galaxy, and they did travel among the stars, but after billions of years of existence they became extinct or evolved into something so far beyond us that they are beyond communicating with our simple minds. They might not have orifices for eating or pooping. Hear me out. Almost all life on Earth is topologically equivalent to a donut. Meaning we have an outside wall and an inside wall, digestive and respiratory tract, that runs like a hole through us, and our important bits are sandwiched between these walls. One of the only examples of life that isn't like that would be, for example, single-celled organisms, amoebas and such, which just kind of ooze over whatever they acquire sustenance from and osmose it into themselves. Currently on Earth only microorganisms are like that, edit. Also some weird ocean creatures. But there are fossils dating from before the Cambrian explosion from millions of years ago which hint that a completely different type of large and complex organisms might have evolved to walk the Earth before that evolutionary lineage was wiped out by an asteroid or the like. One of the oldest of these rare fossils is of a zero-orifice creature that was about a meter long. We don't have a lot of info from life during that age, but it indicates there may have been an entire evolutionary track of complex life forms favoring life that is topologically equivalent to ball instead of donut. And that's on Earth. So, yeah. We could very well find an entire planet of giant, oozy amoebas of assorted species and intelligence, who neither eat, speak, or shit like we do. Just try figuring out how to breach that cultural and language barrier. Edit. For those asking for more info on the ancient Earth giant amoeba fossil, I read about it in The Science of the Discworld, co-authored by Pratchett and 2 others, which is a very cool take on a popular science book. About our world. Yes, don't worry, not about the Discworld. Although alternating chapters use a fun Discworld frame story as an excuse to look at the cool science in the science chapters. I'll see if I can pinpoint where in the books they talked about this fossil and update if I find it. Would highly recommend this as a popular science read BTW. Very entertaining and educational. Edit 2. Found it. The class of fossils are called Ediacarans. An excerpt from chapter 23 of The Science of the Discworld. These creatures are known as Ediacarans, after a place in Australia where the first fossils were found. They could grow to half a meter or more, but as far as can be told from the fossil record, seem not to have had any internal organs or external orifices like a mouth or an anus. They may have survived by digesting symbiotic bacteria in their cells, or by some other process we can only guess at. Some were flattened and clustered together in quilts. We have no idea whether the Ediacarans were our distant ancestors, or whether they were a dead end, a lifestyle doomed to failure. No matter. They were around then, and as far as anyone knew, not much else was. There are hints of fossil worm casts, though, and some very recent fossils look like. But we're getting ahead of the story. The point is that nearly all Ediacaran life was apparently unrelated to what came later.